views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Coming about this edition of Perspectives, our political analyst and community activist Joyce Johnson joins us on set, weighing in on some of the key issues on our nation's local and national political scenes. We're discussing Mayor Bill de Blasio in New York City and his strained relationship with the New York City Police Department, GOP senators to delay August recess to work on legislative priorities, that and a whole lot more. Stay tuned. We got a good show coming up right after this.
Let them know. What's on your mind? Let them know. Anything relevant to life, you bring it to the table. Whether you make a move solo or a movement with a stable. No fables, you speak on your decisions. Cause in the long run, it's your voice, your views, your vision. Keeping it real with many messages for you to know. This ain't radio, but DJ runs the show. Entertainment, he rocks it. Politics, he locks it. The host with the most would handle any topic. Don't forget to share your perspective with shines of light, cause it might make a difference in someone else's life.
Make a difference.
What's your perspective?
Express what's in your heart and your mind. Share your perspective.
What's your perspective?
And hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Perspectives. I am Darren Hyman. Of course, we want to thank you for watching and staying tuned to us every week. We invite you to share your perspective with us because, yes, it does make a difference in someone else's life. Yes. Why does it make a difference? Because we get to talk about a variety of different things, from politics to current events to news. We invite you to be connected with us. And so you can do that by watching, and you can do that also via social media. Check us out on BronxNet Perspectives on Facebook, and then also hit us up on Twitter. And guess what? Also my professional page. You can share, and maybe we'll even take what you want and put it on the air and talk about it. Well, that's how it works here on Perspectives. But coming up on this very special edition, we go front and center with the issue of the NYPD and yet another officer murdered, quote unquote, not murdered, but assassinated right here in the borough of the Bronx.
Yeah.
And our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Mia Soto's Familia, who was gunned down simply by just being in her car, tragically assassinated. And still after her death and the funeral recently, a lot of fallout. Fallout between the mayor and, once again, the police union. And the question is, how are the tensions there? Are they getting better? Are they getting worse? And our political analyst, Joyce Johnson, joins us in, and she weighs on, talking a little bit about the mayor. We'll talk in our first segment just about that, the mayor and Mayor de Blasio. And good to have you, Joyce Johnson.
Good to be here, always.
Always, always, always.
Too much going on. You call me back because of the stuff that's going on all around the world, the country, and the city, but happy to weigh in.
Yeah, happy to have you weighing in with us. So let's talk about this here. We talk about, first of all, the assassination of a New York City police officer. And, you know, there's always been that tension between police and community, but very, very much so, everybody on the same page here denouncing the assassination
Absolutely.
Of one of our own right here in our borough.
One of our own, simply a public servant, police officer, public servant. So it is tragic on so many levels, and just wanton, random assassination is patently wrong on any scale. Certainly those who are called to serve and put themselves in danger each and every moment of the day to protect us, and to have her life ended like that is, it's very sorrowful and wrong, and just wrong. And it's happening, sadly, around the country. And that is wrong. Some would say it is, I don't know. I don't know. One would argue it's the backlash of seeing so many blacks, particularly other minorities, but certainly blacks also, what some would say murdered, killed by police, killed on the circumstances that defy, reason. That one, but not being held to account by a system. And so, but that is still never should anyone go out and then, a vigilante justice. We can't go back to the wild, wild west days of vigilante justice. Murder, an eye for an eye, it's wrong. Right. But then the system must correct that. We are, in our leadership must speak out against it. We must, when we prosecute, and many police officers around the country have been prosecuted but it's the juries of their peers that have not we as regular folks, jury of our peers who are charged to weigh evidence and decide, and they have not done that. And I think that leads to, so I'm not blaming police, I'm not blaming prosecutors, the system. I'm blaming we the people for not acting justice on behalf of those who have been wrongfully killed. And this is what we get, and it's wrong.
And there's this growing trend. I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we talk about here, then upstate New York, you've got a state trooper murdered responding to a call.
Yeah.
There was a time, I think, when police officer deaths, and I had a gentleman from Blue Lives Matter on another show, when he said police officer deaths weren't as intense as we're seeing right now. And we're seeing the numbers continue to rise. Is it culture? Is it, what do we see? How would you assess?
I think I praise. Well, we are a lawless society. The proliferation of guns, everyone is armed, and so at one time you would only expect law enforcement to be armed, those designed to protect. Now everyone is armed. That's blame the NRA. It is Wild Wild West. It is Wyatt Earp and Dodge City all over again throughout the country. There are more, and we are a lawless society. There are more murders committed in the United States in a year than totally around the world. So it is a sad culture, but it's those who promote the idea of, my First Amendment rights, my Second Amendment rights, and all of that. And so everyone says, well, I'm gonna have my rights too, meaning I'm packing. And so under crazy circumstances or just fearful circumstances, in some cases, you will pull out a gun. I think I think police now don't know if they come across a car what to do. And there's some who are wrong, going too far, that split-second thought. I'd rather, it's either me or him or her, and I'm going to shoot whatever. That's wrong. But we have created a culture of everyone is armed and everyone is ready to pull and fire. Mm-hmm. But then there's this other piece that what we're talking about today is that just wanton, random, reckless, just come and shoot a police officer for no reason. That's wrong, and that's the danger. We've gone a step too far. And I don't think we have, and I think too, when we have escalating tensions between leadership and police, that gives perhaps ordinary folks some pause to, well, I'm going to take him or her out. The person who killed Officer Masotos, obviously troubled, and so that's a piece as well. But it goes back to the ease with which we can get and arm ourselves. You don't go up and punch somebody out now. You've got a gun that you can shoot. Mm-hmm. So there are many corrective things that we must do in our society to tamp down, to take away the guns, not make them is available. And that's for legislators, that's for the NRA who says, that's for gun lobbyists, that's for gun manufacturers. They're making more and more an armament. Jesus, now the handgun. We're all going to be walking around with AKAs. AKAs, what for you? I don't even know the number.
AK-47.
AK-47.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Let me take a quick break. Come back with Joyce, and after that, I want to talk after the break about New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, his strained relationship with the police union. We're going to go to that coming up after the break. We're going to break right now.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Continue our conversation with Joyce Johnson, our political analyst, who joins us here in studio. And as we're talking before the break, with the recent death of Officer Familia, once again, strained relationship between the mayor and the police union. And, where do we see this now?
Well, it can't be the stalemate. It can't be strained. And one of the two gentlemen must take the lead, and I think the burden falls upon the mayor. Mm-hmm. He is the mayor of New York City, and I think, and this has been strained for some time between the mayor and Patrick Lynch, to the extent that it may signal, we don't like police, the leadership, we're not comfortable with police, and to the extent it might give anyone rise to treat police, public servants in a different way, then the better person then creates a better relationship. And I think that's with the mayor. Patrick Lynch is, I'm Joyce Johnson, and I have perhaps problems with Patrick Lynch, but I'm just Joyce Johnson, rank and file person on the street. The mayor is the mayor of the city of New York, responsible for creating better relationships with sometimes folks that you don't like, but in the interest of public policy, public safety, you do a better job. And when police start to turn their backs on the mayor, then they might turn their backs on us. Mm-hmm. And that's not good. So somewhere line, where whatever lines have been drawn on the sand, need to stop, sit down and talk and come to some pathway to a better relationship in behalf of the people of New York City.
Yeah, well, when you talk about that, you have NYPD officers, even yesterday's funeral,
yes,
turning their back,
yes,
on the mayor. No respect for authority, and on their side, they say the mayor doesn't respect our work.
Well, I think so. Just let me say it outright. I think it's up to Bill de Blasio. Bill de Blasio. He's the manager. He's the mayor of the city of all of New York. He is the boss of all of us. And the one thing a worker, rank and file, all the way to the top, wants to be appreciated for the work that they do and their contribution. And theirs is mightier than most because they, day in and day out, they put their lives on the line. They put their lives, praying that they're going to go home to their families, just like he does to his. Mm-hmm. And so the onus is on the mayor, squarely on the mayor, to patch it up the relationships, and he can do it. He was a good public advocate. He's good on the stump. He knows how to do this, and I think he can. And whatever personal relationships may be between he and Patrick Lynch, put it on the side. We don't need that, pure and simple.
When you talk about the mayor, though, I want to go to this other situation that we have here, him going to Germany. And his recent trip out there. Mm-hmm. A lot of controversy surrounding that, and he's got a lot of criticism coming out of that. Agree or disagree the mayor should be in Germany?
No, I don't. I'm thinking, no, I don't. His is what he reminds me of in a way, and certainly the personalities are different. Donald Trump, who his escape from management and the his primary duties of presidency, he goes out to this public, to his base on the stump and in the rallies. He loves that. I see a similar path in way in Bill de Blasio. He is an active, his best job, what he was most suited for was public advocate. And going to Germany was his, liberal, leftist, promote, rally, rally and cry and all of that, and that may be as a private person, but he's the mayor of New York City. And to go to Germany, to what end? To what end for the people of New York? He should have been here. He should always be here. If he wants to do that on his vacation, the coincidence, that's fine. But no, I don't think it was proper. It was right, and I still say, to what end? What does the trip to New Hamburg or Germany? What does it do for the people of New York? Especially at the time when this whole issue of the police officer being killed now, murdered. And if the trip was already planned, then you change plans. You have a first duty to people who, in a couple of months, you want them to rehire you 4 more years as mayor.
That's where I was leading to, because you have re-election as a possibility, and your thoughts on whether or not he gets re-elected.
Well, this is a one-party town, and there are many Democrats who would love to be mayor. They are currently in public office, but no one has, can I say, the balls to take on a mayor who may be vulnerable. And so he will be reelected. It's a one-party town. A Democrat is going to win. And there's not a formidable Republican, liberal, whatever, there's simply not. And that's really a shame.
So you think in a primary situation, he'll win?
Oh yeah. Yes, he'll win. Who primary him? No one formidable is in. There are folks who are going to give him office holders who are going to give him another 4 years, so that when he's term limited, then they'll have a better shot.
We've heard Letitia James' name come out.
Yeah.
She'll wait 4 years?
She's waiting 4 years. Scott Stringer is waiting 4 years, and maybe others. John Liu is waiting 4 years. They've got time on their hands. They're young. They've been tested. But I believe in competition. I believe every elected official should stand, before the people with competition. And I'm looking forward to the day. Now, I'm a staunch Democrat, but I'm looking for the day when we become a two-party system, where there is, we the people need to have a choice, one of our own and one in opposition. And I think that's why so many people are not voting. And I know a lot of people on the Democratic side would love to have. They have been trumping for the last months. All the people that I've just named, been begging them to, why don't you do it? And the safe play is no, let them have 4 years, and then we'll come in an open election. That's not a profile in courage.
No, but in a borough like the Bronx, it has 90% Democrats. Obviously, there is no two-party system.
Exactly.
There is no two-party system here, and we know how the city pretty much votes predominantly
Democratic.
Democrat.
Except for Staten Island. Yeah, the other 4 boroughs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and there's a lot that can be said about Staten Island. But when the rubber meets the road, it's pretty much. But you think about it, Mayor Giuliani, he was able to become mayor.
He and Mayor Bloomberg, and Mayor Bloomberg, but they were Giuliani. I can't say an aberration, and I'm saying that if the Republicans had someone strong, credible, they could certainly. So I think it's up. I think if there was opposition, I think the mayor would have a run for his money, and I believe in having a run for his money, because stand up and tell us what you have done, what you plan to do. There are many folks who are not happy with the housing situation, homelessness, and all of that. Then the competition is, I want to hear someone who says, I have a better plan, and let all of us decide. Let all of us decide. That makes our democracy better. It gives people greater confidence in public service. It holds elected officials to account All of these things is never done in a one-party system.
Be right back. More with Joyce Johnson when we return right after this.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Back here with Joyce Johnson, our guest in studio, and we're sharing a little bit about the woes of New York City. And when we talked about the mayor before, the mayor talked about a tale of two cities. That's how he ran.
Yep.
Talking about a tale of two cities. To date, looking right now, do we still have two cities?
It's a tale of two cities, pure and simple. Boom. That's why the previous conversation about competition and measure up, you know, the elections, re-elections, are all about a report card. And a report card of how well you have done or not done. And I think enough people, I think there's work to be done. But he's going to be reelected because there is no competition. On the Republican side, there's not a Democrat who's willing to step up. And I just, you know, nothing against anyone. I just believe in that. I believe in that because I believe first and foremost the people deserve options, and we don't have it.
And
so,
when it comes to the governor, obviously strained relationship there too.
Strained relationship, but the governor will be up for re-election next year, and so you know he will be in the same situation. Who's going to run against the governor? No one, no one, except you maybe.
No,
I might vote for you. I would vote for you.
There's nothing to that. I need to clarify right now.
This is true. This is true.
There's nothing.
There's nothing.
That.
No. That's the biggest disclaimer I know. And
Right.
yeah. Let me say this.
I get 500 emails. You run for governor? Right. No. I'm running for my life. That's about it.
So am I.
Yeah. So listen, let me take a real trip down up to Albany right quick. Obviously, with all the stuff that's going on here, with the strained relationship with the governor, how effective is it for resources to come back this way into the city, given the fact that you have this?
Well, not because we were talking about this at the break. You know, the relationship with Patrick Lynch and Bill de Blasio, strained, two titans, okay? Relationship with the governor and the mayor, titans. You know, so somebody's got to blink. And I want somebody to blink in my behalf. I live in the 5 boroughs, live in Manhattan. So the blink goes to the mayor. Is that done? We don't ever see that. There's still this testosterone back. And so the short answer, because it does, it gets, you know, sadly, it becomes personal.
Right.
It becomes, you know, who's going to blink and who's not. Who's going to beat you, you know, outdo you. And that's not what we need. So while I say that, you know, the onus is on our mayor, because he's the closest to us. The governor is in Albany, and he's statewide. But this man is covering for 5 boroughs. Somebody's got to blink. This would be one of my check marks, whether I would rehire him or not. Relationships with Albany, take them out to drink, do whatever, get the job done so resources are brought back here. That's its job.
Do you feel that this can be mended before the election?
No, because it hasn't been mended in three
Right.
3+ years, and I don't see. They both have this two different strong lions, and I appreciate that. But I know, my bottom line is a voter, constituent, is that I want you to get the job done. So, like, make it work. So no, it's not going to be repaired. And sometimes, we have had political people, you have people in your jobs that you can't stand, but you get the job done in the interest of what is your primary responsibility, getting the job done. That's what I want to see. Make it work.
And we've heard it from Joyce Johnson. She's given us her perspective. What can we expect coming up real quickly over the next couple of weeks? What do you see happening?
Well, as far as meddling, you know what, I was in high school doing Watergate. And I want to remind everybody, but caution. I believe that this is a Watergate type thing. I don't know how it's going to go, but it took a heck of a long time, and what I want for us, because we're all riled up about Donald Trump Jr.'s emails and whatever, but a couple of things are looming in the face of all of the things going on. There is the biggest thing, voting, Donald Trump has 37% approval with his base. You can't win with 37%. He's not caring about that. So there's this new commission on voter integrity and standards or whatever. We better start keeping our eyes on that in the next 20 months there before 2020. Don't even know when it is.
2018.
I'm sorry, 2018 and then 2020. Because that's how they're going to steal this election. Eliminate voters and target. It's certainly going to be African-American based. It's certainly going to be geo-targeting Latinos, except for those maybe in Florida who are friendly to them. That's going to be the things that we must, as we're trying to get him out of office, he's going to make sure that he's going to win, and that is the most dangerous thing that we have looming. Start paying attention to this voter integrity, protection, whatever system that they're starting to work on, and all states have got to rally against it. What's that?
Joyce Johnson, as always, our guest in studio. Thank you for coming and sharing with us and sharing your perspective, and certainly we much needed, and we are glad that we can have you here talking about the city and see how things go.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a pleasure.
Good to have you. Joyce Johnson, our guest in studio. As always, we want to thank you for watching. Now, listen, that's about all we have for this episode of Perspectives, but be sure to share your perspective with somebody else. You never know. It just might make a difference in somebody else's life. For all of us here on the Set of Perspectives, I'm Darren Hyman saying take care and God bless.
DJ runs the show. Entertainment, he rocks it. Politics, he locks it. The host with the most would handle any topic. Don't forget to share your perspective which shines a light, because it might make a difference in someone else's life. What's your perspective?
Express what's in your heart and your mind. Share your perspective.